Well, hello everyone, welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. I'm really excited for this episode because in this episode we're going to be talking about tying up tomatoes. Now, we've done so many videos in the past on this topic, but we've had so many questions on it that I thought I'd bring you all along just because I had to do it anyways, and I wanted to answer some of the questions that people had. A lot of people just wanted me to go through it and show you how I did it, kind of step by step, kind of showing the reasoning why I do the things that I do. And so that's really what this video is going to be about. It's going to be kind of just a summary of all the things we talked about in the past, kind of bringing all the different methods and videos together into one. And it's going to be a little more of like an overview. So if you have not yet seen some of those videos, I'd recommend going and checking them out. But this video is definitely going to be super fun, super educational, as they always are. But if you have any questions at the end of the video, feel free to post them in the comments box below. That's how I create video content. So I really do appreciate that whenever you have a question, because it definitely helps me know, maybe I didn't answer this as well as I could have, or, maybe I did a really good job, but here's some other video topics that might fall into the same category that might be beneficial, because I rely on you guys for so much of what I do. I'm really excited because we got a ton of work to do on the tomatoes. They're looking a little bit neglected because I've only tied them up twice. And since then, it's gotten insane with the store launch. So we're getting ready to launch June 23rd, by the way. If you've not yet seen the invite, you are invited to the grand opening. June 23rd, we're going to have a meet and greet before the event from 9 until 12. We are probably gonna break away, Mrs. MIgardener and I, probably around like 11, so we can set up for the store launch. But we are going to have special guests, which, by the way, is something I wanted to talk about before we get into this video. We want to add the most bang for the buck for those that are traveling from out of state, or that are making a trip out of it, or those that just want to, show their support. We actually invited in some super cool people that also have YouTube channels as well as other social media channels. And those people are Daniel Arms, SSL Family Dad, or SSL Family Farm, I guess is what they're now called. Then Freedom Homestead, and also Amanda from The Fundamental Home. So 4 amazing channels that you all should go check out. Go show your love. That's why we love them so much, is because they're super cool and they promote a lot of the stuff that we promote. And so they're going to be there at the grand opening. We invited them out, and we're going to just have a big old bash and a meet and greet before the event. So you're welcome to that as well. It's going to be at Kate's, which is just down the road, like 2 doors down the road from our place that we're opening up. And I will post links in the description box below to an event that we created that you can join. It's a Facebook event. If you don't have Facebook, just know that I'm also gonna post the address to the store as well if you're interested, because you are invited and we'd love to see you. All right, so I figured this would be a really good plant to start with, because this one is showing quite a few signs of neglect. And it's really going to kind of go through the things that I look for whenever I look at my tomato plants for maintenance. The first thing I look at is how close are the leaves to soil level. I have a leaf here that's really hanging down low, a leaf here that's almost touching, if not touching, and then I have a leaf over here that is touching. And so what I want to do is I really want to look at getting these leaves off of the soil level, because that's where splashing occurs. And anytime there's splashing onto the leaves, it can transmit things like blight, which are diseases you do not want to get. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to prune those branches right off. So many people don't like defoliating their tomato plants because, no one likes to do that. But the thing is that you have to. Now with some of these leaves, I clipped off about half the branch because I still like to have some of the leaves to create energy for the plant, but I don't want them, like this one here is super long. Like, look at how long that is. I just can't have that right now. So these leaves I'm pruning up, and I'm going to make sure that that anything that has a risk of touching the soil is pruned up. And as the plant grows, obviously it's going to allow the branches to become full size and get nice and large, but I cannot risk these plants getting diseased. I also look down at soil level because tomatoes love creating suckers down at the bottom here. And so I got one, I'm gonna pull that off there. So, and those are like all new plants. They're just going to cluster out and steal energy from the plant, as well as prevent good airflow. The next thing we look for is suckers, side shoots. So I have 2 here. Suckers always will form in kind of the joint between a leafing branch and a main growth stem. So here's the main growth stem coming up. You follow that all the way up, and it's right here is the main growth stem. But if you look, there's a branch here that we pruned, and then there's the main growth stem, and this branch right here is a whole new plant. And that is what we don't want. That's going to actually divide the energy up. It's going to try to flower on this plant as well. And yes, it could possibly set fruit, but it's going to steal all the energy away from this main growth stem, meaning that this is not going to grow as tall. It's not going to fruit as much, and the fruit that it is going to give is not going to be as large. So we really want to conserve that energy. And also, by doing this, we are maximizing the airflow in between the plant. See all these leaves here? All these leaves, as they grow and mature, they're going to start kind of making this whole thing way too closed in. And that means that anytime it rains, or if anytime the plant gets watered or in high humidity, there cannot be good airflow through here to dry the leaves out. And that's where you start to get things like blights and powdery mildews and things like that as well. So now that we've gotten all the suckers removed, we got another little one right there. Get them while they're small so they don't do their damage. I also got another little one right there too. They catch up on you for sure. They really do. So got all the suckers there. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to tie them up. So you've all seen this before. This was in our very, very popular video, but also slightly controversial because of the title. I'm not sure why, but people really felt that it was a little clickbaity because it said this method of tying tomatoes will change your life. It really will, honestly, not clickbait at all. So in that video, I showed what I was using, and it is just this stretchy elastic band. It's produced by a company called Cloud City, and I use this stuff all the time. It is absolutely amazing in the garden. It's so easy to use, and it does not choke off the plant. It comes in a 100-yard roll, which is 300 feet of this stuff. Incredible value for like $8. It's just so unbelievably inexpensive, and it doesn't solarize, it doesn't break, it doesn't crack in the sun, and it holds up all season long. We even showed in a video, we took it off at the end of the season and showed that it was still elastic even after about 120 days. So really love this stuff, and it's definitely my go-to for tying up tomatoes. So what we want to do next is when we go to tie up our tomatoes, we want to keep good contact with the stake. Tomatoes are a vine, but they're a very weak vine. They like to crawl along the ground if they're allowed to. And so I want to keep these as straight as possible so that the center of mass is directly on top of this stake here. And that makes sure that anytime there's a wind, it's not going to blow around as much, and it's going to be much more sturdy. And simply tie off the top. Now, we did have a lot of questions on how often do we tie off? Well, we like to tie about every 10 inches. That way you have a really good sturdy plant. So you can see I have one down here, I have one tie right here, and I have another tie right there. And that way it keeps the support going up the plant, and it just helps to make sure that when it does fruit, that it's going to be able to support that fruit and not be able to fall and bend and stuff like that. And I typically say too that, I mean, depending on the type of plant you're growing, that you're pretty much going to tie every time you see a new flower. So we tied initially down to the bottom here, then it flowered, then we tied, and then it flowered, and then we tied just above that, and it's going to produce another flower here, and we'll probably tie somewhere up here for our next tie. And that just really keeps it nice and tidy, and it keeps it nice and sturdy. Alrighty, so that's about all I got for you today. Quick episode, but I got a lot going on with the store launch, like I said. So I've got a meeting with the building contractor that we're working with. We've got to get some shelving up, and I've also got to make sure that it all is looking ship-shape for the grand opening, because we're getting really close. So I got to finish these up, but I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments box below. I'm always loving to read through the comments after the end of a long day. It's really nice to see you all show up for these videos, and I appreciate it so much. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. Remember to like this video, subscribe if you're not yet already. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel reminding you to grow big or go home. Catch you all later. See ya. Bye.